Good evening. Welcome to the Groseal Township Community Recreation Commission regular meeting scheduled October 24th, 2013. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Everyone reviewed tonight's agenda. Any changes, deletions? Otherwise, I need a motion to approve, please. Helena?
Second.
Mike? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Yes, Leah.
There are a number of typos that I will correct and resend them to you.
Okay, thank you. All right, as far as the commission meeting minutes, any changes, deletions, besides the typos, as Leah just said? Otherwise, I need a motion to approve. Ethel? Helena, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Any public comment? No public, no comment. All right, chairperson's report. Recreation millage information. As you know, in the beginning of November, we're going to have a millage. And of course, we want the community to vote, come out and vote for all of the millages. What we want to do is we want to read a little statement that we've had around the island about the recreation department as a whole and how we've grown over the years and such. So give you a little bit of a history thing. Tim also has some pictures here of what you'll be seeing is basically what he had in the beginning and before we started going over the water's edge, basically, right? Tim, you want to have a little introduction of your pictures of what everyone's going to see as I read?
What you'll see is since the original millage, there's several facilities that townships acquired or grassroots efforts from the community. Like you'll see the playscape to start off. Did it really originate with the rec department? No, it was a parent group in the schools that went out and raised all the resources, but when they were done, they needed a department to take care of it and maintain it. And as the board went through the process, that was a DPS or is it recreation, the rec commission was chose to oversee it. And then as you go through these programs, many of them are grassroots efforts. That was actually the first designated park under the recreation department, a public park, the Playscape. So as a rec commission and people trying to improve the quality of life and add to the community more experiences, that was something they were excited about and knew that there would be expenses down the road. But you know, we've done a good job on trying to manage those. So as you go through, there'll be things with the farm, things with Water's Edge, Airport Park, Gyra-Angisa originally, Ken Fisher with the fire department, they needed additional fields because there was conflicts with the schools. We partnered with them. So it's not like we're taking credit for it, but we were partners, and many of these are grassroots from the original, after the original millage in '86.
And that still stands today. I mean, as we grow even more, it's still grassroots items that people are looking for, like lately the kayak, or the inline or the all-season skating rink. That's all grassroots too.
Right, and there's challenges with facilities and traditional areas that you want to keep and maintain. Sometimes one group may not be able to do it, so we work together to support those facilities. And you'll see that as you go through. A lot of the groups in the community, whether it's Garden Club, Herb Society, Tails, on and on, they worked with the recreation department, they worked with the schools, and it's like the first few years, there wouldn't be a rec department if it wasn't with the schools, and there still wouldn't be without the school facilities, because that's how we can serve and use those facilities to extend our money and maximize our resources.
Right. Okay. So anyway, here's the history of Groseal Recreation. In May of 1987, over 26 years ago, the Recreation Department started operating out of a storage closet with 1.5 employees and a $72,000 annual budget. Over the years, the programs grew exponentially, and in 1996, the voters voted to purchase Centennial Farm, and the Recreation Department built a facility at the farm, and it moved into the location. In February of 2005, the Township Board decided to relocate the Recreation Department to Water's Edge, and with the additional responsibilities of all activities at that location as well. This was primarily due to the need to consolidate departments to eliminate deficit budgets. As a result, the Recreation Department is currently responsible for a $1.2 million annual budget. Recreation on Grosse Ile has grown from a total of 10 programs the first year to now over 120 programs. 3 full-time employees and seasonal staff are currently responsible for 6 different locations with nearly 40 different types of amenities. The Recreation Department has been able to provide this wide array of services with no need of increase in the original millage funding until now. The requested millage will allow Recreation on Grosse Ile to continue at the current level as expected by the community. So the whole purpose of the 2013 recreation millage is to maintain a high level quality of life on Grosse Ile. It's to perform much needed past due maintenance on facilities, to purchase much needed capital and equipment, maintain current Recreation Department operations such as the concert series, swimming, outdoor volleyball, ice skating, inline skating, kayaking, marina, little chippers, pickleball, senior programs, playground and field maintenance, golf, seasonal events, aerobics, travel, youth programs, playscape, park, sports, and much, much more. Basically, the funding is needed due to the decline in tax revenue, the decline in grant revenue, the decline in grant opportunities, and the overall decline in economic conditions over the past several years. Let it be known that 73% of the current Recreation Department budget revenues are obtained from grants and fees. 73%. Over the past 6 years, the Recreation Department budget has been cut in order to address the 18% decline in millage revenue and the reduction in grant funding while striving to perform at the service level the community has become accustomed to and expects it to. Without a millage, a combination of very deep program cuts and a substantial increase in program fees across the board would be necessary. These cuts may include the elimination of many programs, services, and events, such as the closing of the swimming pool facility or reducing its hours, ending the Meals on Wheels program, ending senior transportation, ending maintenance support for all youth support programs, youth sport programs, and further deterioration of all recreation-owned facilities. A complete review of all recreation programs would be necessary if the current funding shortage continues. The November recreation millage equates to approximately $20 per resident on an annual basis and will cost the average valued household $47 annually. So that's basically the fact sheet that was presented for you guys in the community to review. We have copies at the Recreation Department, and if you have any questions, you can obviously feel free to ask any of us, the commissioners, Tim Rooney, and anyone else on the board. All right, Tim, now you also have some more pictures of where we stand to date, right? You want to go over some more?
No, this is it. I switched from facility to various programs.
Is there anything you want to explain about the other pictures?
Just as we went through the facilities and programs, once again, a lot of organizations, those were created from those community groups, and then we partner together, whether it's facilities or registration, those type of things. So it's kind of it all was grassroots, even with the original 9 people, the committee that went out to try to see if we could support recreation on Grosse Ile, and the millage passed by 3 votes, and they kept, they went to the board, and the board believed in it, and they went out, and it passed, and then 87, they created the department, and then developed, established the commission. Okay. But these are just various programs, and that's basically it right there. It's just.
Well, I think it's got to be known that you reach out to every community group on this island. I don't think there's one community group that you haven't worked with or still work with this day, correct?
Right, and if you look at the farm, you look at the marina pictures, the boardwalk, that was, once again, the West River Yacht and Cruising Club, and the golf rangers, the Herb Society, the Tails volunteers, it's kind of all interlinked. Is there places we could possibly cut? Maybe. Are some programs that only have 8 people important to people? That, maybe a senior group we have.
But I mean, when we cut down to programs, Tim, let's be realistic. I mean, I think everyone on this commission understands that if we cut a program, that's not going to save us that much money. How's that saving money by cutting programs? It's got to be some major closing of stuff down if this doesn't pass, right?
Well, we have to take. We've already started looking at the facilities and things that we need to look. But
any questions to Tim? about the millage? Any clarifications
What's the date?
for the, what is the election? November 4th? What is it? November 5th. So that's where we stand with the millage, all right? So then moving on, the Parkway East River Road ending. Doug is my neighbor, Theo, he's on the Land Conservancy, and they did install, what are they calling it?
It's like a telescope.
Yeah, like, like the lookout thing. So, himself and Peter Cance did install that over the weekend. Tim went down there and took some pictures of it. It's a pretty nice telescope. Helped him load it up in his van, and and that wasn't cheap either. But that came from the Groseal Land Conservancy. That was not through our budget, but that area's shaping up too. So they just got the base in there. That's it.
That's what when I went down today, that was what was there.
Okay. And it's going to have the thing that slides in there, and you got the telescope thing. I mean, he had all the parts, so maybe it took a lot longer than they thought to anchor that in or whatever. It's going to be there permanently, is my understanding. At the road end, the one that we got to name. The nameless park. Yeah, and by the way, submit some name suggestions or something. I did talk with Ted about that, about being able to see if we can do something like a vote or something like that on the names that were submitted already and go from there. All right, the next one is the all-season rink, the update on that. They did pour this week. They prepped and poured, and that's finally taken shape. Yay! This was supposed to be, as we said before, this was supposed to be done last year. We were supposed to save some money on the funding with this by, going with other departments for cement costs and stuff like that. So when I get the final itemized list, I'll report back to see where the final outcome and where we stand with that is. But I'm very pleased that that's finally moving forward after all these years. Any questions on the all-season rink?
I have a question, just like next year, will it be available, do you think, to use?
I would absolutely
Yes.
say so. I mean, the inline skating for sure. They're all worried about not doing any ice skating right now because of the moisture content and having that on the curb and stuff like that with the pressure. So they don't want to risk anything like that at all.
Good.
All right. Any other questions? All right. We have the holidays coming up, people. So our scheduled meeting for next time is going to be on Thanksgiving. And well, actually, it's not called Thanksgiving anymore. It's called going shopping now, I think, right? But we have to decide on a date. Usually at this time of the year, we usually decide to go for putting November, December as one meeting. Does anyone have any problem if we try to fit it in the beginning of December, or do we want to go try to get the week before Thanksgiving at the end of November to kill both months? What kind of suggestions do we have on the floor?
My suggestion is after Thanksgiving,
After Thanksgiving?
a joint meeting,
We're going to have November and December for one meeting.
right?
Anyone have a problem with that, beginning of December? Does the 5th or the 12th work for anybody? Anyone prefer any one of the two?
I prefer the 5th. It's a Thursday, right?
Yep.
I said 5th.
How's the 5th look for everyone else?
5th of
December?
December. December, perfect.
No problem?
All right, so then what we'll do is for our November, December meeting, we'll go 12/5 at 7:30 at Township Hall. All agreed?
Agreed.
Okay. All right, so that's it for me. Now we got the Recreation Director's report, the Playground Safety Servicing Project. Tim, it looks like number 1.
Okay, I just handed out a packet that was sent to see, number playground safety surfacing we're on, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sent a packet out to 5 suppliers within Michigan that handle, most of the municipalities, and it also was posted in the paper. The one thing, the board, I don't think is going to have their first meeting in November, but I was hoping to have a recommendation from the commission for I think it was the 20, it's after Thanksgiving. But if you want to wait till December to get the wood chips now, that's fine. It's pretty late in the year now.
I think it's really late, because don't you think that will just decompose over the winter? I mean, wouldn't it be just a waste of money?
No, they'll hold up, but
Really?
probably compact a little bit. But this was a packet that went out, RFP that we put together in the office, and then there's non-compacted and compacted, and, measured the playgrounds and also what the depths, the required depths for safety.
Is that the minimum we can do for Macomb? We have to get that many cubic yards?
Yeah, to do it right, most definitely.
Okay.
But and it complies with all the,
Are we talking about that right there, the 290, is just within the fenced-in area, the enclosed area, or is it the outside too?
inside.
Inside?
We need to expand a little bit at the farm to the fall zone behind the swings. And then on the back of it, I attached, I recently placed an order from the original supplier. That'll come out of the farm budget. The swings and some of that equipment's in really bad shape, and I once again apologize for that. And recently, without even contacting them, they came out from Minnesota, the landscape structure company, and did a lot of work on the swing, safety work, where it's attached to the bar.
You said from Minnesota?
Yeah, that's where the company is, Landscape Structures. They're headquartered out of there, and they have a team going all over the country making those repairs. But the swings, that should be done here within the next week or so.
Okay. Now, when we talk about this equipment in the back, is this specific to one site, or it goes for all sites?
That's one site, that's the farm.
That's definitely the farm.
That's not the block grant East River where we're going for the lower age group, the
Okay.
nursery.
All right.
So they'll have their next inspection in the spring, and I promised them we'd be done with that by then.
All right, so this has been published already in the camera and everything?
Yes, and sent to our 5 main suppliers in Michigan.
Okay. Any questions for Tim regarding this?
So, once you get your bids back, do you make the decision, or do you need a?
You guys could give me that authority, I could go to the board, and then the board would say, unless, they may say, go back, I want it from the commission, because it is it's block grant money between, I'm gonna say it's gonna come in anywhere from $14,000 to $18,000. It's a good amount, so if you want me to come back in December, that's fine.
Well, I think your bids, you said bids due November 1st, so I'd say to this board, why don't we give Tim the authority to proceed as long as you think it's reasonable price?
Work with Dale and Ann then on it, the township manager and finance.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
so
it-
you can go to the township, you shouldn't
Yeah.
have to wait for us till December, because you're gonna know in November who you wanna purchase this from.
Yes, it would be nice.
So, Mr. Chair, if I make a motion that once our rec director Rooney gets his bids and makes his selection, that we give him approval to go to the township for the funding of the project.
Do we have a second? Yeah. Bill? All right, I have no problem with that. Anyone else have a problem? I think it's a good idea. I mean, really, I think it's your decision. and
Okay,
everything
and I'll
like that,
update
too.
you before I go to the board if there's any questions.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. All right, Tim, you got the authority to do that. All right, the mid-year budget report, what are we looking like for that?
Phil, did you get a copy of that one, the mid-year?
The one you just gave me?
Yeah, is that the budget summary?
Yep.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, budget summary.
Yeah, every October, the managers have to meet with the treasurer, supervisor, finance director, and township manager to update that group on how we're doing with our budgets, and because it's right before the audit for the new year, or for the prior year. And this could, I hope it's not confusing, the budget is on the right, which we established last winter, early winter. So like the pro shop, we were estimating 99,308 coming in revenue, and the golf would be 192,280, and then to the left of that is where the actual.
All right, the big one that comes for me, Tim, is the marina revenue. That's pretty much a set defined amount with the slips. Why are we off on budget on that one?
Winter storage is coming in right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, winter storage would be the last couple months of the year. So that'll bring it up.
So left is where we're actually at in both, in those accounts, and then right is what we established for the revenue and expenses.
All right, let me go back again. The budget, then you have the numbers for the budget, that's for our whole year budget, not to this year-to-date.
Exactly. And then,
Okay.
Okay.
then on the left, actual,
As year-to-date.
yeah, you compare it right to one next to it.
So it's-
Going left, going right to left.
Is the actual year-to-date and the budget is the whole year budget?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, at that point when I met.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, I feel a little bit better about that.
So it looks like you're right on for the pro shop.
Which is that bond payment that
Yeah.
comes from
And
the township
you
board.
spent a lot less than you expected for the pro shop, right? Expenses are much lower than
Yeah,
budget, so.
we still have a few, that we had another 3 weeks coming in, but it won't, yeah, it'll be a little under.
Well, the big thing we'll have probably is really the cleanup of the leaves for your golf.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at the pro shop revenue, excuse me.
So the golf revenue, another rainy, funny year. Is that true?
Oh, yeah.
Because our revenue,
I was gonna bring articles, but you
I
get
mean,
tired of talking about it.
yeah, you do. It's just, I mean, it's a fact of life. But your expenses were down as well, so I mean, that's good.
Now, what about the bottom one, you guys, the rec fund? Explain that one to me.
Rec fund revenue budgeted $500,000, received
Yeah, take the all,
$132,000.
when we budget, we have to have it in there if we're gonna move on with the project. So you take the 110,000, that's a kind of a separate capital improvement project.
But that was all donations and grants. That was
Right, so if you, let's see, where am I at here? Revenue actual is 132, expenses is 207. And another thing that's not there, you only have about a third, maybe a little less than a third of the rec millage in there at that point, under the actual.
Why? Because the winter taxes aren't in here yet.
Right, but you always have to have 3/4 of what your millage is in the spring before, but they
Okay.
put it in as you need it.
Okay, so nothing alarming right there. This is pretty normal, right?
Yeah, for recreation, and then also our winter programs are always more popular than the fall. There's so much activity with the kids, with the soccer leagues and that type of thing, you know.
So I got a question, Tim. So for recreation fund revenue, budget 527,000, Presley 132. At the end of December, where do you think that revenue actually will be?
Well, there'll be some millage money in there. It'll, let's see, boy, that's hard to. So you take the rate out, so that drop it down to for the actual revenue. And the expense, you take that down 110, because that's not really, that's a project in and out type of thing. That'll go in and out. So I'm gonna say it'll be a lot closer because of the millage funding will be put in there. And then it all depends how the, if you're running a little behind, then you hope you catch up with the winter programs that are usually, they bring in more revenue. Which sounds strange, but they actually do. Summer,
You're totally confusing me. Is everyone else confused?
Oh, yeah.
okay. Okay, you're asking how much revenue we'll have?
Wait, let's just.
Yeah, well, that's what
let-
I was curious. How much revenue do you think we'll have at the end of the year for the rec fund?
Oh, at the very end.
Yeah, after December, you close the books.
No, we don't close the books till March. We're not calendar year
Right.
budget.
Okay.
We're not a calendar year
It's quite a
budget.
bit different.
Oh, okay. So I
Not
shouldn't,
just 2 months.
it's,
Well, I think we've always been very close within the rec millage with those programs. It'll be very close. I'd say between $10,000 and $20,000.
not to worry at this
Yes,
point.
maybe a little under, but yes.
And looking at last year, we're on pace, maybe a little bit off with our rec fund revenue
Say that again.
from 2012. Are we on pace if you were to look at 2012?
Very similar.
Okay.
Yeah, very similar.
All right, that's what I,
Yeah, where you get into that's a lot of the program, where you get into the other ones is the facility areas. And that gets a little tricky.
Good.
and the pool expenses is it
Really
because?
down major.
Well, I was like, the pool expenses, I mean, has your chemical new equipment saved you that much money? Why
The
did
initial startup for the new feeders, that costs a little more the first year, and then it should catch up in the next few years. We're very confident.
Well, I mean, the pool's done now. We close everything
Right.
right now, so I mean, that's gonna be the same now to the end of the budget now.
Right, the
The
pool will
pool.
probably,
We didn't expense as much as we thought we would.
5, 47, it's gonna be, I'd say 55 to 58, maybe, because there's still staffing that comes out over the whole year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's assigned to that
Expenses, but
account.
Probably no
But
more
less-
revenue.
No more revenue.
Yeah, no more
Yeah,
revenue.
That's where it stops.
Revenue's done.
We've had, that's probably the first real tough year we've had in a long time with the pool, as far as the activity.
So it was down, was it weather or, who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? So it's down, I mean, but the numbers, that's the numbers.
I would say weather, but that's my standard line sometimes on some of the water's edge activities, and
No, I think it's the weather
pretty much know
too.
I'm gonna say that.
I
The
mean,
weather kills us.
if golf's
Weather
up,
kills
pool's up, so. All right, any more questions on this budget summary? No? All right, Tim, facilities, update on projects?
Let's see here. Both pavilions were painted this spring, or this fall, and that's about a $600 project, and I traded it for a boat storage.
A wheeler and dealer, huh?
Dealer and dealer,
Oh, you got it, that's good, barter
to
system.
be honest. And the entryway to the activity building, the carpeting was wearing out pretty bad, so that was replaced recently.
Okay.
And you have the ice rink, and then go before the board for SMART funding, not facility, but the transportation program, updating them on that. The funding we thought was going to get cut, but they did still give us they changed it in the legislature, we're still getting $10,184.
So wait a minute, we were worried that we were gonna lose about 18,000 out of our budget because of the SMART program.
The 10,000 we thought was going to get.
10,000?
Yes,
It got
Yes.
refunded back. That's good news.
right. And with a total SMART program, some years it's around 28,000, it was about 20,000 this year. So that's going down a little bit too, that program.
And this with the SMART thing, you saved the residents how much when we opted out of the SMART program? How much did we save the residents?
Yeah, that's going to the packet with the board, but,
Because if we were in the SMART program,
SMART
we would
millage-
have extra taxes levied on us here on Gozel.
right, the SMART millage is .59 mils. If Groseal had to participate in the millage, the cost of, and the board said no. Several years ago, the cost of the residents would be over $300,000. We in the Community Recreation Department are proud to be saving the township $290,000 per year while operating a limited van service for the elderly, disabled, and low-income residents. And I think we're getting a big bang out of that.
I agree.
Tom wants me to follow up the vans in tough shape, but we're thinking about keeping the current van and getting through block grant new lift. The other one's on the outside, so we could fit more people in originally into the van. So we'd like, because we don't use it all the time, but in a community of 11,000, you want to have a handicap lift van, accessible van.
Well, we have to have it, really.
Right, we do. And then we've been fortunate enough with Chief Porcelli and the police department allowing us to use police cars. So we usually try to get a nice one before they sell them off to cab companies or wherever they go.
All right. Any questions for Tim on the facility updates? Okay. All right, Tim, what's your big Halloween plans on Macomb?
Okay. This is our oldest event for the rec department. It started in 1987 and has continued every year, 26 years.
Did we always have pets?
There's always been pets in that parade.
Okay.
People are very creative with their pets, and they're very good to them. But
We have
What?
parades, yeah.
you'll probably see 600 to 700 people lining up, maybe even more, in the actual parade. And you'll see probably over 1,000 on Macomb Street after, but the parade lineup's 10:15, and then we leave at 10:30. Strong support from the police reserves and the police department, keeping everybody safe. And then we go to the down from the high school, down Lyons, Macomb, to the VFW, who has supported us for 26 years, and many free rentals with hot dog and magic shows and ghost stories, so we couldn't do it without them. Once again, we work with the groups. And then right after that, 11 to 1, the kids will be able to trick or treat on Macomb, and the businesses have supported it since day one. And it's a really fun day. John Conroy's volunteered to have a table and hand out the recreation millage information sheet if anybody'd like a little more detail.
Okay.
at the VFW, and then we'll maybe pass some out along this, the street too.
So 10:30. This
10:30, the parade kicks off.
this Saturday.
Yeah, and it's always a really great day.
All right. Any questions for Halloween at Macomb? Anything else,
Wear a
Tim?
costume, right?
We have to hope for no rain.
Yeah, because they're kind of calling for on and off, aren't they?
No rain.
All right. Any more questions for Tim? All right. Moving on to old business. All right. Here's that discussion basically about the naming of the parkway, East River Road ending. And we're just asking the community, for submit some names to the Recreation Department. We're going to get with the Communications Commission to see if we can get something on online, so we can start the voting process and start actually getting a name for this Parkway East River Road ending park. All right, any questions on that one? Any new business? Anyone else has anything new to offer? Moving on to subcommittee updates. Mr. Malveso, anything from the Township Board you would like to add?
No, not tonight.
Open Space Greenways Committee, Ms. Shelkey.
Nothing.
Golf, Mr. Moreau.
I think we covered it.
Marina, Mr. Swales.
I'll be real brief, but I just want to get up here with a couple photos. Yeah, that was so. Just want to review, a week ago Sunday, through his hard work and diligence, Eagle Scout candidate and island resident Neil Quinlan is responsible for the new flagpole at Water's Edge Marina. Neil Quinlan, Girl Seal Boy Scout Troop 1261, and his father Patrick, and Water's Edge Recreation Commission, and West River Yacht and Cruising Club had a dedication ceremony for this beautiful new flagpole. There's a beautiful photograph of Neil Quinlan, Eagle Scout candidate. Some of his fellow Eagle Scout candidates, past Commodore Bob Lang, giving them some advice. A wonderful turnout of the community for the event. Those are members of the West River Yacht and Cruising Club who participated and helped donate for this event. Gun salute, just a beautiful flag. You'll see it when you drive by. And I just want to say, I think it's great community, public, private, coming together. And all the events here, golf, everything we do is public-private, so I just think that's great. The only other thing I want to mention from my report is that our dock master, Bob Lang, is doing a heck of a job pulling the boats out. He's got them all out. He works very hard, and that also creates revenue for the township. Thank you.
Just to add on your thing, I had some community members go to me how nice that marina's looking, Tim and Mike, and with that flag and the park benches down there and the boardwalk, a lot of people, it really looks nice down there, you guys. You guys take a look down there.
I have a comment.
Sure.
I'm very, very disappointed in the lack of support we got from the Recreation Commission, this group, and from the Township Board.
I thought we
What
had
else?
some members from the commission that did show up.
Yeah, Tim and I.
Wasn't John there?
Conrad was there.
Oh, yeah, and John. But nobody from the Township Board was there. And, for such a great event and such a welcoming sign coming on this island, you'd have thought that the township, somebody from the Township Board would have been there. And I'm very disappointed in that. And Bob Lang said he would let them know about it. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else for regarding the marina? Yes. Oh, wait. Actually, can you wait for extended public comment? Because we're in the middle of this. Sorry about that. Hold your thought, though, please. Centennial Farm.
Oh, can I say something?
Yes,
Come on.
you're on.
I had a lot of comments on what a great Harvest Fest it was. I had a lot of comments on that from the residents and from Tales. They were, I don't know, they didn't tell me how much money they made selling hot dogs and that. They got a lot of animals adopted.
So good turnout
So
then?
I heard it was a very, very good
Yeah.
turnout, yeah,
Not the all time, but it was up.
yeah.
Good. Anything else?
That's it.
Anything about the farm for Helena? All right, airport recreation area.
Nothing at this time.
Senior citizens, Ms. Yops, anything?
I have a few things. The first thing I would like to say, though, is that if you've been, seniors and everyone, if you've been watching the warnings in the newspapers and the TV for everybody, the telephone scams are increasing. It's the holiday season. So please, don't give your Social Security number or your credit card number. If you initiate the call, that's fine. But if they call you, just either hang up or just don't give them any information. On the Senior Citizen Club, we are continuing to give cash donations monthly to the Sacred Heart Food Bank. Our Pinochle on the first and third Thursdays have received added interest. We have new people coming. This is at 1 p.m. at Centennial Farm. The next Recreation Department sponsored senior luncheon is Wednesday, November 20, 12:30 p.m. at Centennial Farm. And we're having a full holiday-style meal with roast turkey, sweet and mashed potatoes, dressing, gravy, green bean casserole, cranberries, tossed salad, pumpkin pie, entertainment, and raffle prizes. And it's a very, very good price, $10 for everything. Advance reservations at Water's Edge at the office are 675-2364. The Senior Club members' Christmas dinner will be Tuesday, December the 17th, 1 p.m. at Sharkey's. And let's see, we just say if all of you stay updated on all of recreation programs on Grosse Ile, it's on the television, Comcast Channel 12, WOW Channel 10, AT&T Channel 99, and check your channel's program book. Thank you.
Thank you, Ethel. Any questions for Ethel? All right, schools and Senior Olympics. Mr. Conroy, anything to add?
He had a project come up at a
he's
radio
not- oh, that's
station.
right,
He's
okay.
going to try to be here by 8, but I wanted to say something in John's behalf and also the table tennis. They recently gave us over $1,105 in donations for that program. We had bought two new tables and it was around $800, and they gave us, and we're going to be getting thank yous out to individuals and the group.
Really?
Yeah, and they also joined the golf volunteers on the 18th at Sharky's for our thank you pizza party, and it turned out really nice.
Excellent, excellent. All right, and Playscape, Ann's not here. It's right there. So, extended public comment.
Hello, Kathy Walker, Burkport. I'm here basically as the chair of the Communication Commission, pursuing what Mr. Swales asked me to do a few months ago. And I was wondering, I haven't been around a lot lately, so what is your interest, or if you are interested in Wi-Fi in the marina?
I'll say yes, we're interested because the members of the marina, and I know the members of the marina would like the Wi-Fi access. The quote you brought forth was from a vendor who did work for the township in the past.
Let me just explain. I sent to your chair and Mr. Swales, and of course your liaison, a bid because, and I have no affiliation except
Right.
we keep a boat at Jefferson Beach, and we've had terrible Wi-Fi for many, many years. And this year it was spectacular, to the point where I trusted it. I was taking an online class, and I had to get things in on time, and if I didn't, I missed, and I could trust it. It was wonderful. So I went up to the people there, and I know them pretty well, and I said, what's different? And they go, oh, we've got this new Wi-Fi guy. He does marina Wi-Fi. He's not a Wi-Fi guy who will do a marina. He's a marina Wi-Fi guy. And I said, where is he? So I went and stalked him down. And I said, you've got to come here and give us a bid. And again, this is just one bid, certainly just to give you an idea. But we were so thrilled. And where we are, there are 750 boats. These huge boats. Sometimes there'll be 30 cigarettes, 50-foot-long cigarettes coming in. And, that would normally, I'd lose my Wi-Fi. We'd lose the TV. And nothing. It was just great. So I was so impressed with him. And we have talked about it. Ted has brought this up a number of times, that we really do have to expand on what we offer the community because they were expecting it now.
Right.
So I did send, I did some research, and I did send Tom and the chair some information on what marinas are doing now to keep up, to be competitive. And as you've told me, Mr. Ketcher, you want this to be a real jewel. We have a jewel. You want to promote it. And one of the amenities that is almost everywhere now is Wi-Fi.
Now, that's where I have a question. Now, talking like with Dale and I think Tim and even Ted, what is the charge of the Communication Commission? Is the future for you guys to give Wi-Fi to all public sites? Is that something that's going on? I mean, that's where we're kind of at a loss are we going to have Wi-Fi here at Township Hall? Free Wi-Fi?
We do.
We do.
We have free Wi-Fi?
We have. So we don't have it for the general public, but that might be coming. Ted, do you want to address this? Because he's talked about it many times. It's the future.
Right. Well, that's what we were kind of
And
talking
even in
about a little
Wyandotte,
bit.
I've talked to the people there.
Because right now, Kathy, it's like almost like it'd be a perk to spend $9,000
understand.
for Wi-Fi right now, really, in our sense. But Ted, what's the thoughts of the future for communication on the island?
Well, Wi-Fi is the future. I mean, you guys are using iPhones and iPads and
Going right now.
everything, and TV sets are passe. They're going the way of the dinosaur. Everything's going to be wireless, and you guys provide a service, and your competitors up and down the river are starting to add this as a perk, a service. And at first, a lot of people were charging for Wi-Fi. Maybe whatever they divided by the usage. Well, your situation, and I can kind of give you an overview. You have two Wi-Fi systems at Water's Edge. One is, I think, is operating out of the pool house, and it reaches up to the clubhouse. Okay, the peak of that clubhouse kind of blocks it from going past it. So that's kind of a semi-private use. I don't know if the pool, the people.
But that's not a public Wi-Fi. That's strictly for employees.
Your use.
Okay.
Sharky's has a Wi-Fi system, Linkix or something like that. Anyway, if you are facing the clubhouse down at the marina, you can barely pick it up. If you turn around and face the river, you're not going to pick it up. So that's the way the system is. So there's a need. The reason it costs a little more is because you think, well, we got 50 boats down there, so we need 50 slips into the Wi-Fi system. Well, that's wrong, because none of us carry one Wi-Fi thing anymore. If we have two kids, your wife and you out on an outing, you probably have two iPads and 3 DSs and an iPhone and everything else, so that each boat has the potential of having multiple users. So when this system that, was it Neil? Was that?
Yeah.
Neil,
I've got a copy of it.
Neil devised, I think he put 200 as the maximum.
It was 2.5 per person, probably 200. Yeah.
So that's just the mechanics behind it. But basically, you guys provide a service, and just off the top of my head, you got people over there for Riverfront, and you got the Pavilion. The more people use your facility now, the more people are going to want access to Wi-Fi. I mean, it's not 2000 anymore. I keep thinking, like in the communications department, I can still think someday we'll go digital. Well, we went digital, and the next day I got a brochure saying you should go high def. I mean, that's how technology.
Well, I guess the question I really want to ask you about the monies. I mean, if we came to get, let's say, we'll talk about Water's Edge, get Wi-Fi there for the public, would that be a recreation budget item, or would it be communications, or how do you see this? Would it be split? I mean,
well, here's where the leadership, and I'm talking about the board, and I'm not indicting them in any way, and the managers and the chairs of all the commission are going to have to get together and take a hard look at township IT services. Every department has IT expenditures, all right? Without going into big detail, the communications department is funded basically, and it's how you word it, there's some people, for political reasons, will say it one way, some say the other. Anybody who uses cable television on the island is contributing to the communications department, because we get the 5% franchise fees from the three companies.
That's where
that
your
we have.
budget comes from then.
All right, but we don't use it all. We use a 60% portion of it, and the rest goes back to the general fund. So out of, last year, we got $200,000 from the companies. We used $95,000. The rest of it went back to the general fund. What I'm suggesting is that the leadership of the township takes a hard look and says, okay, we need to Wi-Fi some facilities. We need, managers need iPads to work. The township board is going to start using iPads and paperless meetings. All this IT, especially in the next 4 or 5 years, that's the way the younger people are doing business.
Right.
I mean, me, pencil and pen, and I'm happy, but, now you got to be able to bank and take a picture of your check and mail it to your, to your bank and stuff like that. So all this new technology is for, I say 40 and under. I'm not disparaging anybody, but that's the way the world's doing business, and that's the way the kids are doing business, and the college kids are doing business. So we need to have a forward vision in everything we do, because if we go to old technologies, we're just wasting money. The other thing I suggested, and this is where you brought up facilities, is, and I brought my wife to one of your magnificent Centennial Farm. I don't even know which one it was. Some of it at Centennial Farm. And I brought her in there, and there was a little wall in the action, and she's sitting at the table, and her iPad didn't work. Because you have a public facility at Centennial Farm that doesn't have Wi-Fi. So that's, I've had a couple other people, but, I'm kind of close to my wife, so I heard her say that. So
Good thing you are.
So basically, that's the kind of complaints you're going to start getting. They're trickling now, but they're going to increase. I went to Centennial Farm, my kids running around and jumping around, having fun, but I'm sitting in the park bench and I can't do anything.
Well, like with the quote that we got, Kathy, from you, is that part of the infrastructure thing and progressive thinking that you want to go with? Is that what the idea is?
Actually, we got two quotes. One we got from our IT provider that I think encompassed everything, Centennial Farm and the marina and stuff, and that was $14,000. Neil's quote was just strictly the marina. I dealt with it. And the pool?
And the
Okay.
extra 1,000 would be 1,000 less without the pool.
So basically, that's it. The sales pitch is this. It's it's 2014. People are using Wi-Fi. You guys might be at a competitive disadvantage if a guy wants to use slip A or slip B, and they got it. You don't.
Right.
You know?
I got a little bit more of a sales pitch.
So that's basically it. If you got any questions, I'll answer them. Otherwise, I go sit back and go back to sleep.
Any questions for Ted, anybody? All right, thanks, Ted.
Just to correct one thing, last year, we gave back 55% of our budget. I did an analysis, and I could send it to all of you. Over 13 years, we gave back 27% of the franchise fees. The franchise fees are not tax dollars. They are, if you don't get cable, we don't get your money. So that is not a tax, any way you slice it. Everybody can say what they want. It's franchise fees, and we are funding, on average, 27% of the franchise fees for the last 13 years have gone back to the general fund, just so you know that. Okay, here's what I'm saying. I know he's mentioned forward thinking. You're concerned about money. Well, one thing I looked at, and I did not see the document, you have them in front of you, but I was told that your transient dockage is $660. Is that correct? You guys have the budget so
An
far.
average?
No, that's what I heard. You budgeted $3,000 and you got $660 in transient dockage.
I don't know.
That would be on your budget actuals. That you.
Doesn't break it down that way.
Okay, well, I got that from the township manager. Okay, and I said, why would you budget $3,000 and only get $660? Well, there's a lot of reasons, but here's one thing I do know. When we go anywhere, my husband and I. If they don't have Wi-Fi, we just keep on moving, because Kathy can't live without her Wi-Fi. And a lot of people are like that, and younger people, and even though I'm a little older than 40, although no one's going to tell me that, I go with 3 devices everywhere I go, and my husband goes with 3 devices. So the two of us have 6, and I'm sure on the marina. And this is, it doesn't matter who's renting the
All right,
slip.
so your point is saying that the transient dockage will pay for the Wi-Fi? Is that?
I would say that you will increase your transient dockage definitely, especially if you're diligent
But
about
Kathy,
it.
what is the communication commission for? It's for Grow Zeal, right? Aren't we all the same?
Yes.
Is it- So, that's why I was just asking about the budget. Wouldn't it come from your department then?
You know what?
You wouldn't give away 27% back to general fund,
I'll be
right?
honest with you, I don't have a say in it. I don't have a problem, but I don't have a say in it. We have money that we give back to the general fund every year. This year, we're using a lot more of our money because we've put in new equipment
Right.
and all that. This is a big year for us. If it has to go in our budget, I don't make that decision, but I don't have a problem because the money has to, we have to fund
Right,
these
you
things.
give it back because you guys don't use it, basically.
Right.
You're done using it.
And
So really,
that is-
you're saying it's a board's decision.
Absolutely, it's
Okay.
not my decision, but I want to just go on. Kroger's has Wi-Fi. Island Coney, I couldn't believe it. Island Coney has Wi-Fi, and I talked to people in Wyandotte. I talked to Trenton. The Trenton Arena has it because they get people anywhere people congregate. It's the future, and we don't want to be the last ones to have Wi-Fi. That's really what I want to say. And I've got documents here from articles from the Free Press and things like that. And here's another point. They're now even having Wi-Fi at the state parks. Tom asked me about that, so I researched it. They started Labor Day. No state parks in the country had Wi-Fi until Labor Day, and there were 2 of them in the state of Michigan. Now they're going to charge, but within a year, that'll be gone. Just like, the McDonald's across the street. The first time they tried to charge me for Wi-Fi, I said, no, I'm going to Wendy's because I get it free there. So that was it, and now it's free. And that's what's going on. They're starting even in the state parks because they see that you have to be competitive. Everywhere you go, you have to be competitive. And the young ones especially, they don't want to pay for the data packages. A lot of their tablets, you can get it with data or just Wi-Fi only. And I was talking to Gail at Best Buy because we bought ours there. And she said, oh, the young ones, they never buy the data plan because they just expect wherever they go, there's free Wi-Fi. So that's the mentality. And we are trying to appeal to, bring people on the island, inhabit the houses, and the younger people, and, older too. But it's something that it doesn't matter whatever you guys agree to, yes or no now, you're going to have it within 5 years. There's not a doubt in my mind. I will put money on that. You guys will vote for it eventually because...
Well, I don't think anyone's against Wi-Fi,
Okay.
Kathy. I think it's a
Okay.
matter about where it's going to be paid for.
And
And it's nice to know that you guys give money back to general funds. It should be an easy fix to
27%.
say,
Right, they can do it.
to take the franchise fees and spend it in a public place.
I came up here for 2 reasons. One, to clarify the funding, and I saw cookies up there. That was great.
Tim's looking at those.
They're good. They're good.
Actually, there's a third reason, but I'll mention that at the end. What I am suggesting, and I didn't, I guess, clarify it, I'm suggesting that the township takes a hard look at all its IT expenses. And maybe, we have a IT budget, or we have a rec budget, and we have a cable budget. Maybe the township needs an IT budget. How it's funded, if it comes from franchise fees, I don't really care if it helps move to the future, but I think it'll be in a shared expense. Right now, we have an administrative budget because they make the payroll and the checks and stuff, so we give 1% or 2% to, I think it's up to 2% now.
Who's your liaison for your commission?
Lauren.
Okay.
So, but basically, the township needs to take a hard look at its IT expenses. You're looking at a monitor over there in front of you. If you went and bought that monitor now, you'd probably pay $150 or $125. We paid $1,500 for that monitor in 2000.
And it'd be a lot thinner, too.
So basically, that's where technology's going. I think we need to take a hard look at all our technology costs, phones, computers, this computer here, we tried to do something the other day, and we got the message does not support that, action anymore, because this is circa 2000.
Well, I mean, hearing from you guys right now, I mean, with where you guys want to go, I think it'd be foolish for us to get Wi-Fi right now until we got all our ducks in a row with the township, don't you think?
Well, it's Kathy, asked me to take a look at it. This is what we found. The other option is, I don't know if Wi-Fi would be good for 6 months of the year, 8 months of the year. I mean, maybe there's a proportion thing. There's all these other options, but I think it's something that you guys should start taking a look at and thinking about.
All right.
And the last thing, and this is off and you can go back, is that, on your meeting on December 5th, your boss over here, his daughter is going to turn 19 on December 5th, and I'm not sure,
Oh, Jackie.
She's in college though, right? Or no, she'll be home
She's
by
down at St. Mary's.
She'll be home by then?
Nope.
No, it
Okay.
should be a college.
They run right up to the,
The last thing when you talk about the budget, as Ted keeps saying, we've got to look at everything, because there's a couple bucks here, a couple bucks there, and there might be a time that the board and the finance chairman all get together and say, maybe we have to reallocate, maybe we should just have an IT budget, or maybe put it all into communication commission, whatever. But I think they're going to probably gather it all up and see what the true, because right now it's hidden costs. There are a lot of hidden costs that are all over the place, and that perhaps we have more efficiencies if we centralize the budget.
Sure.
But again, that's not I don't have the power to do it. I'm just responding to your question a few months ago. And the last thing, because if we do move forward on it, it takes about 2 months to get this equipment, depending on who you want. But again, I don't have a vote, but I'll tell you the difference between our Wi-Fi, and it's not just throw a router in. Every time you have a flat surface like the bridge, you have the power plant. This is a very difficult place. Plus, you could also do the pool. And a lot of people do, they don't work at a building anymore. They work out of their houses. They work out of their boats. They work at the pool. Again, I keep saying that this can bring you business, and people will stay a little longer at Sharky's, and an extra
Well,
drink.
Sharky's does have Wi-Fi.
He does, but I'm just saying it'll be a more inviting and welcoming environment. So and I wanted to see where you were at. Like I said, I didn't know what happened last time with the meeting and all that. So.
We appreciate
Good.
the information, okay?
And
Thank you.
lastly, thank you all again for your support of the kayak. It was a huge success. Never could have been done without you guys. And the next year is a bigger year coming for us.
All right,
Thank
great,
you.
thank you.
Yeah, I have a question for Kathy though.
Sorry. Yes, sir.
I'm gonna use a round number.
Okay.
But it was $10,000 for the equipment, the hardware,
Yeah.
whatever you want.
Yeah.
Whatever the right terminology, Ted, hardware. It's $10,000 for that. Then is there a monthly or an annual fee?
There would be an annual fee, but it would also be discounted. As Ted said, I know Jefferson Beach, they shut it off after 6 months.
Well, that's my
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, you can save.
The pool, the golf.
Right.
The marina would be a similar time frame
Right.
within the year. So in the winter months, it'd be shut down.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what the
It's not that significant. Once you get it in, the big thing, the big bite is the equipment, the hardware. The maintenance isn't a big deal. And they're local people, well, not real local, but they're out of St. Clair Shores, and,
But and again, the round number of $10,000 that I used,
right.
that would take care of both the marina and in general, the pool area.
And it would also, what is interesting, and I don't have the documents in front of me, what made this proposal so much better than most places when they have a Wi-Fi, they just say it's going to cover this area. Well, he would have like pods almost, and they overlap, and that's really important that you don't lose when you have these circles that overlap each other, and the way he configured it. So it was well thought out. It was, just to say, this gentleman has done Mac-Ray, Toledo Beach, Jefferson Beach, 2 of the biggest marinas in the state, and a couple others. He's become an expert at this through trial and error, so you wouldn't be like the guinea pig. You'd be the one who has the thing. But it'd be about $10,000 if you wanted the pool, which I don't know why you wouldn't. It always hurts to start, but once you get it, then you've got the equipment and you move forward.
Then I'm going to ask a question to Ted, if you don't mind.
No?
With the current technology, And the speed at which this township would turn to a Wi-Fi township, how long would you expect this equipment to last if we were to use a system like this at Water's Edge?
Well, if we bought the equipment when you started your question, it's probably out of date by the time I answered it. No, I really don't know. We started talking about Wi-Fi back in the early part of the century, because there was a plan at the Cable Commission level at one time to Wi-Fi the whole island. We actually looked into what the costs were, and we were going to have 6 or 8 hubs across the island, and we were looking at the cost then. It's getting smaller and smaller, and the smaller equipment covering larger areas. The other place we have to talk about is really over here, because with all the events we have here, the galas, the veterans, the Island Fest, a lot of
Township Hall you're talking about.
Yeah, Township Hall and township facilities, because
Right.
There are people and vendors that go all the way from the Cardinal Wall all the way to the other side of they want Wi-Fi and stuff like that. So these are all things that we have to look at, but I guess we're starting here. I don't know. Usually if you buy electronic equipment, by the time you install it, it's out of date. So.
I appreciate that. But, are we 3 years, 5 years, could you expect?
18 months to 36 months, probably.
They can find out. I can
Yeah, we can find out, but what will happen is that probably 18 months or 36 months down the road, what we had would be not inadequate, but slower. If you buy
Just at the
yeah.
at the pace that the current technology is moving. So my phone that I got last year it was out of date when I bought it, and I realized that.
Well, you got 3 or 4?
5.
Oh, but you're close.
Yeah, I'm borderline. But it's just that the pace of technology changes, and like I say, the computer that 5 years ago that won't support the system today because it's just that much change.
But wouldn't this be a little different? Because this is not home equipment. This is industrial equipment. So I think you would probably have a little bit more of a lifespan. But I can find out for you what they project. And
All right, well, let's find out.
Yeah,
We can continue this on later then or
yeah,
something.
and I just wanted to see, as I said, I'm following up for Mr. Swales, and as he asked us to. Thank you very much.
And Kathy, I appreciate it, and I will probably put it out after the millage. I'll know how I feel about putting it in the budget for 2014.
Okay.
We can make it a pay-to-play at the marina with the fees. I mean, we can do that.
I still
We
say
can
the
do that.
angle if they're giving away 27% back.
Yeah, but I don't disagree, but I'm looking out for the marina. People have asked me to do something. But I want to look at the bigger picture of the township, but I don't want to wait 5 years while the township goes wireless if the marina should have this as they want.
But the thing is, quite honestly, to be competitive, if we charge here, I don't know, $10, whatever you want to charge, and I personally, if I knew that Pier 500 has this as an amenity, I'm going to Pier 500 because I want my Wi-Fi. That's just, and if at my age, if I'm this adamant, think of the young people. They really will not go anywhere they don't get it for free. So.
And I think that could translate, or I say translate, it could be with the pool area, with the young families.
Yes.
Perhaps Wi-Fi service there, there'd be a few more families that would pick up the revenue.
Well, it sure wouldn't hurt. I think we all agree with that, yeah.
It would not, if we were to consider this, it wouldn't make sense to do the marina and not spend another $1,000 to cover the pool area.
That's so true.
That's what I was leading up to.
It's so true. And again, the only reason it's being brought up, you asked in the summer, the lead time is a lot. It's a couple months, the installation. It doesn't happen like that. So nothing is worse than you promise people something if this goes on and they don't get it until August or something. So, just to let you know.
Leah, you wanted to add something, Leah?
Yeah, I was just going to comment. I just returned from a trip through all the national parks. And every place I was, except for Las Vegas, I was not charged for Wi-Fi. So I did not gamble while I was in park. I was so tipped off.
And which national park was that?
All of them, but not
Las
Vegas.
Vegas.
Yeah, well, no, that should be a national park, I tell you.
But I mean, when you go to Island Coney and they've got it, it kind of tells you something.
All right, thank you. All right. All right, individual commissioner comments. Start with you, Bill. Anything you want like to add?
I just want to remind the public that we have this millage vote coming up, and if it already hasn't been discussed, I think they should take a serious look at what we offer this community, how we offer it, and the minimum amount of personnel that take care of all the activities that we offer this community. And we haven't had any increase in millage in 26 years. And I think it's very important that they take that into consideration because we have been given over the 26 years many brand-new items. Just the Parkway, park at the end of Parkway is something new. And there's a whole list of things I think we ought to put in the paper of all that we're responsible for. And that the Recreation Department, and I'm looking at Tim, is the guy that coordinates all of this with only a couple of people.
Right.
So I think they ought to give that some serious consideration. And if it's not snowing, play golf.
All right, there you go. John, anything you'd like to add?
Echo what Bill's talking about with the millage. We'll be out after the parade handing out flyers, and come on out to the parade and have fun on Saturday. Will Stewart is not here tonight. He is in rehearsal for Oklahoma, which is happening November 20th through the 23rd at the high school. Everybody should go out and see that. He has a terrific voice, period, but he's also an excellent singer, so that should be fun.
John, where are you going to set up for the parade? Do you have any idea where you're going to be?
VFW at the end, then we'll move out from there.
Okay.
Yep. Thanks to Tim very much for giving and Sharkies as well, for having a pizza party for the golf volunteers and our ping pong volunteers. We had a really nice time, and good. It was just very nice to have that done for them. That's it. Thank you very much.
Greg, anything you'd like to add?
Nothing at this time.
Helene, anything you'd like to add?
No.
Mike, anything you'd like to add?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'd just like to ask you for the December agenda, I would like to ask for a report on the status of the lease at the restaurant, please.
Oh, I can give you a little bit right now. There is scheduled to have a meeting with the township manager, tentatively for next week. And then for next month, we should have a pretty good update for you.
Good, thank you.
Yep. Leah, anything you'd like to add?
No, nothing.
Ethel, anything you'd like to add?
Yes, I'd just like to say, I think that where they put the flagpole, it's an excellent location, and if you eat at Sharky's, you can look out the window and see it. It's just beautiful.
All right.
One more thing.
Tom, anything you'd like to add?
No.
Tim, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, one thing I missed, update from Lorinda Beneteau from the DPS. Work should begin about 2 weeks on the drainage projects.
Julie just asked me about that today.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I say, please.
One more.
Oh, John?
One more tidbit. Yep. The flagpole ceremony was fantastic. What a beacon for coming into Grosse Ile from the waterways. Really, really nice. Bob Lang did a terrific job. As you know, we had lots of dignitaries there to celebrate that. And the young man, Mr. Quinlan, he's 14 or 15 for doing that, for getting all that done for an Eagle Scout project. That's a pretty amazing accomplishment. Thanks a lot.
All right. With that, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Bill and Mike second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion is approved. Please volunteer in your community, and thank you for joining us.
Tell Bill about the dignitaries.